Last year, 5 of her players reportedly transferred to different programs. And this year, a reported 10 of the team's 12 players aren't planning on coming back.
Just because you are a great player doesn't make you a great coach.
Did you hear about Sheryl Swoopes? The WNBA legend is dealing with serious accusations that players are abandoning her team in shocking numbers, and their accounts are making things even more complicated. Some people are claiming that she is targeting white players. Is this true? And how does it relate to her? Recent remarks about Caitlin Clark? We're going to delve into the complex world of Sheryl Swoopes, and I promise you that what we uncover in 2016 will surprise you. Sheryl Swoopes is her recent induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame flipped her world upside down. But there was tension simmering at Loyola University Chicago behind the scenes.
The allegations come just after the 6-time WNBA All-Star was inducted into the National Basketball Hall of Fame.
You know, things weren't always the best, things weren't always easy, but I always found a way.
Can you picture the whiplash? One moment you're on top, and the next year facing serious allegations. The university discreetly started an investigation into Swoopes' coaching tactics as she was celebrating her most recent accomplishment.
Loyola University is looking into the program amid accusations that she mistreated her players. According to reports, 5 members of the team transferred last season, and this year, 10 of 12 players asked for releases to transfer.
Did you hear that? 10 of the 12 players, nearly the whole team, have asked to be discharged or transferred. Can you picture arriving at practice and discovering that just 2 guys are still there? It would be like going to a party and learning that everyone else has been canceled. Now you might be.
Now, y'all heard that. Majority of her roster wanted to lead the team, bro. Majority of the roster. That means every damn player on the team wanted to get away from Sheryl Swoopes. That is bad.
That is bad. Given that Swoopes is a basketball legend with Olympic gold medals, WNBA titles, and a place in the Hall of Fame, you might be asking why so many players would want to leave a squad led by a WNBA legend. You would think that players would be lining up to train under her. The reality of playing for Swoopes was very different from what these young sportsmen had anticipated. Rather than inspiration and direction, they discovered something considerably darker. It turns out that things weren't so legendary behind closed doors.
ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Lara. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to leave.
This isn't just any news, guys. Major news outlets have taken notice of it, highlighting how awful of a coach she was. To make matters worse, let's hear what some former players have to say.
It was the environment she created. I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel extremely small.
Young player felt denigrated and humiliated by Swoopes. Let that sink in. These young ladies, who most likely had a lifelong desire of playing collegiate basketball, were suddenly feeling crushed by the coach who was supposed to mentor them.
Former Loyola basketball player Kate Sohn says Swoopes caused the players to live in fear, that she routinely threatened that they would lose their scholarships or she would cut them from the team.
It made it hard to play. It wasn't about working hard and having fun anymore. It was about surviving.
It's unbelievable. One player even talked about always worrying about losing her scholarship. Can you picture the anxiety of practicing daily, knowing that this could be the day your basketball aspirations come to an end?
Just because you are a great player doesn't make you a great coach.
You won't believe what we learn next. The story of Sheryl Swoopes' coaching career takes an even more shocking turn where he talks about accusations that will make your jaw drop and a controversy that goes far beyond just bad coaching. It's difficult to imagine a woman who dominated on the court creating such a toxic environment off it. But the numbers don't lie when nearly your entire team wants out something seriously wrong. Keep reading because this story's next twist will astound you. There is more to the story of the player, who came forward to say that she felt denigrated. And it's somewhat stunning that she was white, and that she wasn't the only white player experiencing mistreatment.
Environment she created, bro, that made her feel belittled and small. Now, she was a Caucasian player, and I'm here to tell you, there are probably more players out there that has stories about Sheryl Swoopes.
Let's examine the information. Some people claim that Swoopes had a particular problem with white players. We're talking about accusations that Swoopes targeted players based on race. It's the kind of accusation that makes you stop and wonder if this is actually happening in 2016. Several white players reported feeling humiliated under SWS's coaching. Can you imagine taking the court prepared to give it your all only to feel like your coach is constantly tearing you down?
Showing that Sheryl Swoopes has a history of downing players and pretty much targeting white players.
One former player said explicitly that the atmosphere she had created made her feel tiny and devalued, which is not the kind of atmosphere any player, regardless of race or ability level, should have to deal with.
But I'm telling you right now, judging off what history we've seen her display, it's clear as day that she has an issue with white Caucasian players, and this whole thing is crazy.
Now, you may be wondering if these claims are true, and if a WNBA legend like Swoopes is actually doing this well. The problem is that even though we cannot say for sure, the accusations were serious enough to lead to an NCAA investigation. When the NCAA steps in, they look at more than just wins and losses. They now consider player welfare, coaching practices, and possible discrimination. This type of investigation has the power to completely upend a program.
The Tribune quotes the deputy athletic director stating, "Coach Swoopes is aware of and will fully cooperate with the investigation."
Thus, we are here with a tale like Sheryl Swoopes, a basketball legend. Being accused of targeting white athletes makes you reevaluate everything you believe to be true about coaching and sports. But it doesn't end there. The institution acted quickly, firing Swoopes and seemingly ending her coaching career in an instant. This was a startling development that left the basketball world in shock.
The university is now launching an investigation into the women's basketball program, telling ABC News the welfare of our student athletes is paramount. Coach Swoopes is aware of and will fully cooperate with the investigation.
And in June of 2016, Swoopes called the accusation false attacks and denied wrongdoing.
The university's response to Swoopes' concerns was swift and definitive. The athletic director released a succinct, clear statement. Of course, Swoopes rejected all of the accusations, dismissing them as baseless smears, but her protests were ignored.
Swoopes has been fired as head coach after investigation claims that she mistreated players. The university announced this on Sunday. Sheryl Swoopes is no longer serving as the women's basketball coach at our university here in Chicago. Athletic director Steve Watson stated in a statement, a search for her replacement will begin immediately.
We may never know exactly what transpired behind closed doors, but one thing is certain. This scandal has severely damaged Swoopes' reputation. People are questioning everything about her now, including her leadership, mentoring skills, and character. Remember how we thought that story was over after that 2016 scandal? Well, think again. It's 2024 and Swoopes is back in the headlines, but this time it's not about her remarks. It's about Caitlin Clark, the rising star of women's basketball.
It is currently 2024. Now, we know Sheryl Swoopes has not been seen, pretty much on the basketball court since then. She kind of went MIA all these years. That is until Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark popped up on the scene. It's almost like she came out of hiding. Well, she's coming out of hiding with the vengeance, bro. A lot of fans didn't notice about Sheryl Swoopes that she had all of this baggage behind her. And I'm telling you right now, this is not a good look.
You may be asking how Swoopes is related to Clark. Well, Swoopes has been talking a lot about Clark. And let me tell you, people are starting to notice a pattern. Do you recall the claims that Swoopes targets white players? Well, guess what? Clark is white. You decide.
Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now. Immediately, absolutely not. How she can get her teammates to play with her. You know what I mean? Because at Iowa, she did everything. However many shots you want to take, whatever you want to do with the ball, you can do. It's just a different ball game. And you have some players like Aaliyah Boston and Alyssa Smith, a Kelsey Mitchell,
Although Swoopes is no longer coaching, her remarks are making people take notice. She has been disparaging Clark's game, and some people are saying it's like deja vu all over again. That is, Swoopes can't control herself when it comes to white players.
Now, we know the current state of her dealing with Caitlin Clark. There is a lot of things that could be said about Sheryl Swoopes and the way she feel about Caitlin Clark. Now, it's no secret about it that she's a big-time Angel Reese fan.
The interesting part, though, is that some people claim that Swoopes' recent behavior indicates that she hasn't changed at all since 2016. It seems as though she is still thinking the same way despite everything that happened. Can you believe it? After all that drama and those accusations, you would think she would have learned her lesson.
But something I want to talk about is a lot of people is wondering why Sheryl Swoopes won't get into coaching or wouldn't take over the Chicago job. I believe Sheryl Swoopes can't get into coaching because she has a real issue with white players.
You may be wondering why she is no longer coaching. But here's the thing, her remarks are causing a stir in the basketball community and have some people seriously questioning her. It's not just about Swoopes. This whole situation is bringing attention to some larger issues in women's basketball and getting people to think about fairness in how we treat young players and what we expect from our coaches and leaders. What do you think has changed with Swoopes, or is this just more of the same? The basketball community is watching and trusting me. Should Swoopes ever be allowed to coach again? This narrative is far from over, but one thing is certain. Whatever occurs next will significantly affect women's basketball's future. Are you prepared for it? Everyone is talking about women's basketball because of Sheryl Swoopes' path from WNBA legend to controversial coach. The main topic now is whether Swoopes should be given another chance to coach. It's a difficult decision. She is a basketball legend, but those accusations are quite serious. This whole situation is forcing us to reevaluate women's basketball coaching. We need coaches who encourage and uplift rather than denigrate and threaten. The goal is to provide a safe environment for all players regardless of their backgrounds.
It was the environment she created, bro, that made her feel belittled and small. Now, she was a Caucasian player, and I'm here to tell you there are probably more players out there that has stories about Sheryl Swoopes playing under her. 10 out of 12 kids decided to leave this basketball team because of basically the way she was mistreating and treating these players. This thing is crazy.
We must all speak up, encourage positive coaching, and ensure that every player feels appreciated in order to transform women's basketball both on and off the court. What do you think? Please share your ideas in the comment section.